Today, we are going to assess the 2016 manifesto of the NPP and the promise by His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and his government to the people of the Volta region. We intend to do a very objective analysis, very constructive one, of the policy and programs of the president and his government towards the people of the region. When we are done, or when I'm done with my presentation, you'll be left with no choice than to come to a common conclusion that the manifesto promise of the Nana Addo-led government to the people of the Volta region is just an empty promise without any shred of commitment to fulfilling them. Before I go into the main substance of my presentation, I want to make an observation which was carried by Daily Graphic in June 5th, 2020. Today, the Christian community is under attack. One pastor and 3 of his elders were arrested for not observing the COVID-19 regulation. But here we are. Just within few days ago, the NPP organized their parliamentary election, which was covered by the press widely, and they have violated all the regulations of the COVID-19, but nothing has been done to them. Yet, pastors have been arrested in this country. People have been jailed. And in our own region, in South Dai, to be specific, Germany, 3 of our relatives or people of the Volta descent have also been arrested. This is discriminatory. This approach by the government is not going to augur well for our country. I deem it as an attack on the church, and the Christian community have to rise up against the government and against the NPP. That is just an observation that I want to make. Going to the substance of the presentation, ladies and gentlemen, our president said publicly that he is committed to marrying the people of the Volta region. We would have expected him to accomplish all his promises that he made to the people of the Volta region and even do more. Because when you're in love with somebody and you promise him something, you should fulfill it and also do more than you have just promised. So I will take you through all the promises that the president made to the people of the region and see whether he has fulfilled them or not. This is going to be an honest and an objective analysis without any biases. The first one, the NPP, led by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the president of Ghana, promised the people of the region to build a landing site and a storage facility in Keta. And this promise can be found on page 19 of the NPP manifesto highlights. The president has failed on this promise, because when you go to Keta, as I speak now, there's no landing site or storage facility in Keta. There's none. Page 24 of the manifesto of the NPP also point to the fact that they want to construct a harbor in Keta. The two are different. A landing site, different, and then a harbor, also different. This can be found on page 24 of the NPP manifesto. The president have also failed on this promise. The only thing that we hear few days ago is that they've now contacted some consultant to do feasibility study. And this is now going to determine the material needs of the place and whether the people demand harbor or not. So currently when you go there, it is only a billboard that is located at Keji. And from here, I will go to that place again. At Keji, there's nothing that is going on over there. So on that particular score too, we give the President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo 0. Construction of a youth resource center in Ho. As I said earlier on, we are here to do an objective analysis and presentation. The site for this project is not far from here, and work is going on there, but slowly. So we will give it to them. They are doing something about it. On page 50 of the NPP manifesto highlights, they promise to construct or the construction of a modern large sitting theater in the region. With this promise, they promise all the regions that they are going to give them a befitting modern theater, except for Greater Accra, that has already got a national theater. When you go around the region, there is no evidence of a theater being constructed in the Volta region. Hence, this is another failed promise of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to the people of the Volta region. On this score, we also score him 0. Page 22 of the NPP manifesto highlights again the promise to build an affordable housing project, which was also affirmed by the President himself on the State of the Nation's address in 2019, when he promised that they are going to complete a housing project in Ho, Tamale, Koforidua, from a $51 million raised from a consortium of banks. There is nothing to show for this project as well. The question is, where then is the $51 million they have raised? When you move down the whole stretch to Aplau, after the airport, you will see just a billboard there, the housing project, which is now very bushy, or some will say it's a forest area. So the question is it the $51 million that has been used in constructing that? Definitely, that is also a failed promise. The much touted sloganeering project of the NPP that everybody knows for is the one district, one factory. Page 10 again of the NPP manifesto highlights points to this, that every district will have a factory. In Volta region, there's nothing of the sort of any factory in any of the districts. So on that score too, we score them 0. This is an unfulfilled promise that His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo made to the people of the Volta region. Something interesting happened during this COVID-19 period, leading the President to promise new district hospitals and regional hospital for the newly created region. People thought that this promise were new, but I want you to go to page 34 of the NPP manifesto highlight. There again, you will see that they have promised to expand existing district hospitals and the construction of a new district hospitals for districts without hospitals. So this is also not a new promise. This is an old promise that they have promised the people of Ghana in their manifesto, and this can be found on page 34 of their manifesto. But I must say that despite the President failing on this promise, when you go to Akachi district, there is a hospital expansion project there that was started under former President Mahama, but then that also have been left idle without any work going on there. So if the person is committed to building new district hospitals, definitely you will know from his action. So there's nothing really showing that he's committed to building those hospitals, because this is not a new promise. I go to the 8th point of his promise that he made to the people of the region. When you go to page 23 of the NPP manifesto highlights, the promise to have access to potable water for all, or all to have access to potable water. it is very pathetic that President Nana Addo has failed on this promise as well. Volta region, we all know, is synonymous with water. But there are many towns and villages that do not have access to potable water. The most pathetic thing of all is when you go to Ajidome, the 5-district water project. The water treatment plant is located over there. It is only left with the last phase, which is the phase 3, the distribution to the various districts or communities that will connect water to Central Tong, Adaklo, Agotima Jopi, Whole West, etc. But that is left unattended to or undone. Yet, this is the president that promised the people that they will all have access to potable water. That can be found on page 23 of their manifesto. Again, we score the president 0 on this score. The president also promised in their manifesto that they are going to provide an industrial park in the region. And this promise is meant for all the regions. This can be found on page 47 of the NPP manifesto. The media here, you all know that there is no industrial park in the Volta region. This industrial park, it is a reserve area that is to accommodate or attract businesses or industries in order to give employment to the teeming youth or unemployed people. But this promise too has been left unfulfilled. So we score the president 0 on this score. Education is very, very important. So when the president makes a promise within the educational sector, we all should take it serious. But this is not the case in terms of this promise that he has made. The president promised to provide free Wi-Fi to secondary and tertiary schools across the country. Page 32 of the NPP manifesto highlights. Majority of the schools in the region cannot boast of this free Wi-Fi. Here again, this is also another failed promise of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to the people of the Volta region. He also promised, which is also one of their critical pillars of their 2016 manifesto, that every constituency will be allocated an equivalent of $1 million a year. This can also be found on page 21 of their manifesto highlight. The president has failed on this promise to the people of the Volta region. But maybe other regions are enjoying this promise nicodemously. But poor Volta region, it is a no-no. It is a no-no. And on this score too, we score the president 0. The president also promised that he's going to ensure availability as well as an effective and a transparent distribution of premise fuel to fisher folks. Page 18 of the NPP manifesto highlights. This again is a failed promise because the premise fuel sector is bedeviled with massive corruption and hoarding of the products. Few days ago, Ghana Web published a story of Sabdai again, whose DC has been accused of diverting the premise fuel meant for the Germany area. And this story was written by one Albert Kuzo, and which is on Ghana Web. That there is diversion of the premise fuel which is meant for community development. The president also promised that he's going to fix the Eastern Corridor Road. As we all know, this promise was made in 2016, 2018, all through. But when you go on those stretch of road, within the Volta region, there's really nothing ongoing. There's something extremely important in this presentation of mine. When the president in 2016 went to Kliko and promised the chiefs that they are going to construct the roads in Kliko all the way to the chief's palace. But when you go there right now, that road is undone. This is no mean a person, but a chief. If His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo cannot fulfill his promise he has made to the chiefs, how much more the subjects? This is a chief. Yet this promise has been left unkept or unattended to. So just ask yourselves, as citizens of the region, if our own chief, the promise that they made to him is being left undone, then what about the promises, the numerous promises that he has made to the people of the region? And no doubt, the president is not fulfilling any of the promises that he has made. And if he's really committed to marrying the people of the Volta region, like he has been touting or saying, definitely, at least the promise to our chiefs, he should have kept that. But that one too is a no-no. The president also promised that they are going to continue construction work and rehabilitation of the widely and severely damaged 90-kilometer whole Aplawu Road. And they say it will commence before the year end 2019. And this promise was also repeated by the Minister of Roads, Honorable Amako Atta, to be objective and truth to our presentation and fair to the people of the region. When you go there right now, you will see a spot patching going on, albeit more slowly. So yes, we will give it to them that they are doing something about the spot patching. They also promise the people of the region one district, one warehouse. Out of the 18 districts or municipalities in the region, this warehouse can only be found in 3 districts or municipalities: Hwahwe, Ketu North, and Ho municipality. So, out of 18, 3 has been delivered. We will give it to them, but not entirely 100%. When you strike the average, this promise, it means that it is 16% fulfilled. The president also, in his visit to Aplawu, during the tail end of last year with the road minister, also made this promise to Togbi Fiti, another renowned chief in the region, that the Diamond Cement Road in Aplawu is in a very bad shape, and this is preventing the circuit court to sit, and that this road will be given priority. Likewise, the Komla Dumont Road and the Kliko Road again are featured here in this promise also. And according to the road minister, they have gone very far with the procurement process. And by the end of year 2019, work will start on those roads. But here again, I can tell you on authority that once again, our chiefs have been deceived or lied to again. The promise made to our renowned chief, Togbi Fiti, has not been fulfilled by the president and his road sector minister, Honorable Amako Atta. These are 17 promises that the president and his government in their manifesto and through other promises made to the people of the region. Ladies and gentlemen, you can all see from the Pretoria of failed promises by President Nana Addo to the people of the region, it is evidently clear that the president is not committed at all to marrying the people of the region, as he has been touting, since his words are not backed by deeds, as exemplified in the many failed promises he made to the people of the Volta region. A promise of a large city modern theater in the region President Nana Addo failed on that. A promise of a landing site and a storage facility in Keta, President Nana Addo failed on that promise to the people of the region. A promise of Keta Port, President Nana Addo failed as well. One district, one factory, the president failed on it. $1 million per constituency, the president failed on that as well. I will be very, very charitable in my presentation. And with what I have done so far, to give His Excellency President Nana Addo, with the promises that he has made to the people of the region, and what he has done so far, 17%. 17%. And I've been extremely charitable with this score, 17%, because out of the 17 promises and things that he has outlined in the manifesto for the people of the Volta region, it's only 3 that we say that there is something being done about it. And when you take 3 of 17 divided by 100, you get 17%, a little above 17%. And with his inability to also fulfill all the promises that he has made in terms of the White House per constituency. So I would say that we will be charitable to give him 17%. And that is the score that we are giving President Nana Addo. And if he is to sit in a classroom and you've gotten 17%, definitely this is a failed score. The president has failed the people of the Volta region with his promises that he has made. It is very obvious the people of the Volta region, we believe, will turn out in their numbers to vote massively for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama for his unprecedented record in developing the Volta region. And here are some of the reasons. When you talk of water treatment plant in Kpando that supplies water to Kpando and Biakoye, all that the people say is John Mahama. When you talk about University of Health and Allied Sciences, with people coming from the 4 corners of this country to school, and people from this region, the name that is on their lips is John Mahama. When you talk about community senior high schools that has enrolled students to pursue academic courses that will make them better citizens and contribute towards the progress of our country, all that they say is John Dramani Mahama. When you talk about infrastructure expansion in schools, this is evident in 3-town secondary school, in Kitasco, in Kitabusko, and many different schools across the region. And the names on the lips of the people is John Dramani Mahama. When you talk about the whole airport, this is something that has been captured in the Green Book. It is just not something that is there, that people will say it doesn't exist. It actually exists. And I can tell you on authority that during this COVID-19 tour by the health minister, he landed a private jet at that airport. And he made a comment that this is one of the best runways that he has ever used. So the project exists. And the names on the lips of the people of Ghana attributed to that project is His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. When you talk about whole market, definitely the obvious name is John Dramani Mahama. Ladies and gentlemen, it is only John Dramani Mahama we believe strongly is committed to the development of the region. Hence, we are calling on the people of the region, both home and abroad, that come December, they should vote massively for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. I thank you very much for giving me a listening ear.